Video, we're going to wire up a breadboard with one LED to our Arduino. Take one of your male wires and plug it in where it says 5 volts, your high voltage port on your Arduino. Plug the other end in anywhere on this strip that's connected to the red plus sign. If you can do this with a red wire or a wire that's in the red family, like orange-ish or red-brown, this will make your circuit easier to proofread. Now, in the long term, you will want another wire going from the red high voltage anywhere else on your board. Pick another male wire, any color. I like to have mine small, that the board doesn't look like spaghetti, and wire it from the red plus into the main section of the board. I've plugged mine in at space 20A, line 20, column A. This goes from red to the high voltage, and from the high voltage, our next step is the longer end of your LED. I'm plugged into 20A. Plug the long end of your LED into anywhere in row 20, the same row you're at. Go across the gap to the other side. Make sure you've got the long end here. I am plugging in from 20C across the gap to some random location. Mine happens to be 18B. If you want to plug in from 20C to 20H, you can do that. Make sure all the wires are stuck in. 18C wasn't working. The wire wouldn't go in. I'm proofreading. Loose wires are the first thing we check. This wire is tight. This wire is tight. It goes from 5 volts into the red. Now my green wire goes from the red into line 20. The long end of my LED goes from line 20 over here. Now I'm in 19C. If we wire up this LED without any resistance, it will be too much electrical current, will burn out the bulb. So here, this is what your textbook recommends, red, red, brown. If we'd spent a merry day in the lab blowing up these LEDs, we'd find out how much voltage was too much and how much was too little. You see why I didn't do this in person. I checked the textbook and took the specifications on the data sheets that you'll read about for homework. Red, red, brown. There are the colors on the resistor. One end of the resistor goes right next to the short end of the LED. There. I'm putting it in on 19I, and now I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to 10I. So again, proofreading, we have high voltage goes the red wire from 5 volts to the red plus. Green wire goes from the red plus to line 20. Long on the LED goes from line 20 across the gap to line 19, and the resistor goes from line 19 back to line 10. Now we're going to finish the circuit. We need our way out. I have another wire, any other color, short as I can find it, but not too short. I don't want the board to look like spaghetti, but I don't want to run out of wire until I get where I'm going. Where I'm going is the blue negative land. Over here, I have a wire that takes me from line 10, specifically 10H, over here to blue negative. From blue negative, anywhere in blue negative, it does not have to be in line 5, it does not have to be in line 10. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go from line 15 in the blue negative back into my board to ground. 3, 2, 1, plugging in. Beautiful. If your LED isn't working, check that all your wires are plugged in and nothing's loose. Check that your board is plugged into the computer, and proofread. Go around the circuit. High voltage to red plus to long end of the LED in the same row. LED across the gap, short end of the LED in the same row with one end of the resistor. The other end of the resistor on another line. In the same row as the other end of the resistor, a wire goes over here to blue negative, and the black wire goes from blue negative to ground.